Welcome home to St. Anne's. We want you to know that we welcome you. Join us Sundays at 10 a.m.
So today is known as Palm Sunday. Am I on? I'm on. All right. I just like to make sure. So I'm going to get in trouble later if I'm not on. So today is known as Palm Sunday. It's the very beginning of Holy Week. And I told you last Sunday that Lent is now officially moved into Holy Week. And this Sunday, and I gave you the rundown last Sunday, but I'm going to give it to you again. So this Sunday is frequently the Passion and Palm Sunday, but you'll notice that we don't do that here because I don't like it. So we're not going to do it that way. And it's optional, as I consider most things to be optional. But the reason that it has always been the Passion Sunday is because back when they were writing the new prayer book, which came out before many of us were even born, but it's new in the Episcopal Church. We have a very long history here, so new for us is relative. And I know everyone's like, okay. Anyway, I know that's going to get me some heat later, but I may as well just say this because I'm already going to get heat. Did you know I was born after both the hymnal and the prayer book? But they're new. They're new. I ain't that new, y'all. You see these grays? Ain't that new. Anyway, Episcopal Church, new is relative. So around that time, they realized that people weren't actually doing Holy Week. So they'd come to Palm Sunday, and then they'd come to Easter, and they were like, well, you kind of have to hear the Passion story. It's kind of a big deal. Say yes, Meg, it's kind of a big deal. Yeah, because this whole Christian faith hinges on it. And so they were like, well, shoot, people really, really need to hear that. It's really, really important. So we're just going to tack it on with Palm Sunday. And that way we know, because everybody comes to church every Sunday. Yeah. And that way we know for sure that you all have heard the Passion narrative before you get to Easter. Yeah. We clergy, we live in this happy little world, don't we? There are unicorns in it. It's wonderful. And so we came up with this grand idea. But here's the deal. Palm Sunday is kind of a big deal. A lot hinges on Palm Sunday, and Palm Sunday really needs to stand alone. And it just gets too intense when you collapse them all together. I did it probably the first year that I was ordained. And I stood up there and I was like, this is crazy. This is just way too much stuff. And you can't even preach because you spent 3 hours on this service alone, processing in, and we're all excited, yay! And then we all have to stand up here and you all get different parts, and and we all have to yell, crucify him, crucify him. And we're like, what just happened? I mean, I came in with my cool palm cross, and now I'm screaming, crucify him, and suddenly he's dead, and I don't even know. And then the preacher's like, well, I can't even preach because it's 3 hours of a service, and y'all don't need that in your life. And so I was like, this is crazy. So I haven't done it since. And I'm sure at some point someone's going to get really mad about that, but it's just crazy. So we just do Palm Sunday here. Whew. That's like half the sermon right there about why I do it the way that I do it. I know, moms are like, I'm just saying, we already processed in, and that was like 15 minutes. Okay, so, I really, really think that Palm Sunday is important because, dude, we all love parades. Who doesn't love a parade? We all love parades, except for me. I actually really don't like parades because they're chaotic, but shh. Everybody loves a parade because my sermon is hinging on the fact that we all love parades. So we all love parades. Everybody loves a parade. They're happy. They're joyful. There's people chucking candy at you. And who doesn't love that? And so we really, really like Jesus in a parade. We love Jesus in a parade. Do you notice how when we start Palm Sunday, everyone's super excited about this? I mean, this is freaking amazing. We got palms, we got cloaks everywhere. He's riding a colt. Okay, it's actually a donkey, so don't get too tied up in any of that. Because a lot of my sermon is hinging on it being a donkey too. So anyway, historically speaking, it's probably a donkey because, come on, it's Jesus. And there aren't that many beautiful Arabian stallions running around, let alone colts. Have you ever seen a colt? They're freaking tiny. Don't sit on one. You're going to hurt it. So in reality, it's probably a donkey. And so it's this big, beautiful moment. And we all get excited about it. I actually get to sing Glory, Laud, and Honor, which is one of 3 hymns that Episcopalians actually know. And we're like, yes, I know this one. Okay. And so when we hear a story, we always look for who the hero of the story is, because you and I, we like to connect with the hero in the story. Because, when you read, I'm always Elizabeth Bennet when I read Pride and Prejudice. Always. Chances are I'm probably more like Lydia. But if you get that reference, God bless you, I love you. And so we always like to be the hero of the story. And so we're like, oh, well, maybe I'd be one of the disciples that went and kidnapped this donkey. It's kidnapping. I know we're supposedly going to send the donkey back, but you stole the donkey. You just said it was okay because Jesus told you to do it. But you want to know who I think the real hero of this story is? The donkey. The donkey. So I would title this sermon for Jesus, except there are a lot of kids in here. But just know that would be the title of my sermon if I had the opportunity. Yeah. And so anyway, but I really think the hero of this story is the donkey. And here's why I think this is true. It is the donkey that ushers Christ into Jerusalem. It is the donkey that allows everything that is going to happen leading up to Easter to happen. It's not the people with the palm branches. That's the glittery, beautiful, awesome part, because we love glittery, awesome Jesus in a parade. That's amazing, right? It's a donkey that ushers Mary into Bethlehem. It's a donkey that ushers Christ into the world in Christmas. It's a donkey that makes that stuff happen. And here's why I think that's important. Not just because you can be for Jesus, but that is kind of probably my tagline in life. But because we want the glitter of all that stuff, but really what we're more often called to is the less romantic stuff of ushering Christ into areas where we may not want to be. It's not beautiful. It's not glamorous. It doesn't usually come with a mitre and an awesome purple robe, though sometimes it does. Yeah, right. But we want it to be glittery and awesome, don't we? We like to think, if I do this Christian thing right, it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to get lots of attention, and it's going to be awesome, and maybe I'll get some money and white caps and then a floppy Bible, so when I preach at you, it'll be really awesome. But that's not the reality of the Christian life, is it? Most of what we are called to as Christians is ushering Christ into places that it's really uncomfortable to go. Ushering God into areas where we don't want to go, and areas that probably don't want God there either. But we are called to those places, and it's not glorious. Frequently, it's messy and ugly and uncomfortable. Everybody loves a parade. But you and I, as Christians, we're not called to the parade. Sometimes there are parades. Sometimes there are amazing moments in your Christian life that you're like, okay, this is awesome. I love it. But really, those are just kind of stepping stones for what the Christian life really, truly is, which is often uncomfortable, unglamorous. It's Jesus. And that is my message to us today, because it's easy to get wrapped up in the parade. It's easy to get wrapped up in glorious Jesus. It's easy to yell, Hosanna in the highest, glory to God, when everyone else is yelling it. When Jesus looks amazing and God looks incredible and everyone else agrees with you, it's really easy. And it feels pretty awesome. But my reminder to you is that there are going to be days when you're Peter at that fire, and people are going to say to you, weren't you one of those people over there? Like, aren't you one of those God people? And you're going to be like, I'm just saying, you're getting ready to crucify Jesus. So, no, I'm not. Really not down with the Jesus thing. Christianity's kind of stupid. And God, nah. No, I'm with you on this one. It's really, really tempting. And there are times in our Christian life that that's where we're going to be. But you want to know what? The donkey doesn't linger there. The donkey does what the donkey is called to do. The donkey ushers Christ in, whether or not it's going to be fun, whether or not it's going to be glorious, whether or not you're going to get a lot of attention for being the donkey that ushered Christ in. What do you suppose that donkey's name is? We don't know. Does it matter? No. Because what matters is the fact that Christ went into Jerusalem. And because Christ went into Jerusalem, we have Easter. It doesn't matter what our name is. It doesn't matter if it's glorious. It doesn't matter if it's glittery. What matters is that Christ gets to where Christ needs to go. And that, folks, is our call as Christians. So here's my message to you today. Be a donkey for Jesus.